represents spirit or God, the all that is. And then the second one represents us as community. And when we gather together with spirit, as always, we shine a greater light. So, all right. Well, thank you. And I'm going to turn this over to John. And Deb's here too. So we say hi to Deb.
Hey, Deb.
Okay.
All right. Can you see the screen share?
We can.
All right. That's good.
You have original song from musicians on?
Yes.
Okay.
Joy in the morning, joy in the afternoon, joy in the evening, joy again soon. When we are happy, joy is how. Joy is wonderful, joy is now. Joy in our homes, joy in our work, joy in relationships, joy at our birth. When we are happy, joy is how. Joy is wonderful, joy is now. Joy in accomplishment, joy in getting done, joy in doing well, joy in having fun. When we are happy, joy is how. Joy is wonderful, joy is now. Joy is now.
All right. Well, thank you, John Miller. Okay, so our speaker today is going to be the Reverend Michael Mangas. And what are you speaking on again?
I am speaking on, what am I speaking on? Oh, I'm speaking on keys to effective prayer.
Okay, keys to effective
Keys
prayer.
to effective prayer.
All right.
He's speaking on his new pronouns.
Yeah.
What?
I said I thought you might be speaking on your new pronouns that you've added.
Well, no,
because you got he/him.
That's right. So those are those are up as choice, yeah. Those are up as a acknowledgement of my pronouns. So
all right. Okay. Well, anyway, so Michael is the speaker today. I'll be the speaker next week. The week after that will be John Miller. And when we'll decide, we haven't decided for September, I don't think yet. But we can figure out what's going on with September. And
yes. We acknowledge Tim being here. Hello, Tim.
Yes.
And
Tim.
So would you like me to do Science of Mind 365?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. From today, Science Mind 365, it says this. He says, I bear the eternal stamp of individuality. I bear the eternal stamp of individuality. I bear the eternal stamp of individuality. Ernst Holmes wrote this. He says, life has set the stamp of individuality upon your soul. You are different from any other person who has ever lived. You are an individualized center in the consciousness of God. You are an individualized activity in the action of God. You are you, and you are eternal. Therefore, do not wait for immortality. The resurrection of life is today. Begin to live today as the immortal beings that you are, and all thoughts of death, all fears of change will slip from you. You will step out of the tomb of uncertainty into the light of eternal day. So say with me, or know with me, I know that every apparent death is a resurrection, and therefore gladly I die to everything that is unlike the good. Joyfully I am resurrected into that which is beautiful, enduring, and true. Silently I pass from less to more, from isolation into inclusion, from separation into oneness. Today, realizing that there is nothing in my past that can rise against me, nothing in my future that can menace the unfolding of my experience. I know life will be an eternal adventure. So I revel in the contemplation of the immeasurable future, the path of eternal progress, the everlastingness of my own being, the ongoingness of my soul, the daily renewal and action of that divinity within me that has forever set the stamp of individualized being on my mind. I bear the eternal stamp of individuality. Thank you.
I am the radiant pulse. I am the radiant pulse. We are the radiant pulse. We are the radiant pulse. I am the heart of light. I am the heart of light. We are the heart of light. We are the heart of light. I am the bliss of joy. I am the bliss of joy. We are the bliss of joy. We are the bliss of joy. I am the presence of peace. I am the presence of peace. We are the presence of peace. We are the presence of peace. I am the power of love. I am the power of love. We are the power of love. We are
And as we recognize that we are the power of love, the presence of peace, the bliss of joy, the radiant light, and that spirit is all these things. Spirit is love, light, joy, peace, wisdom, wholeness, completeness, perfection, prosperity, abundance, light and love, and life. God, spirit is everything. God is everything. Because God created all there is, spirit is everywhere. Present in everything. In every animate and inanimate object. Whether it be what we would call living or just like a rock. Rocks don't live in their own way. So spirit is everywhere. Spirit is in us, through us, and as us. So as I recognize this, that as I unify us with this, that spirit and us are one, and I are one. Spirit and I are one. I am, God is. I am, God is. I am, God is. You are, God is. You are, God is. You are, God is. So I speak my word today for Summit Center for Spiritual Living, for a wonderful service, a time of gathering together, fellowship, time to be able to recognize spirit in each and every person, not only each other, but ourselves as well, and that we do become that radiant light for the world around us. Take my word for John for doing the music today, for Michael doing the message, for Hannah doing the Facebook feed, for him being here, for Kyle being here, for Deb being here. I speak my word for everyone that I know for sure is here, and for those who may see us later, or we don't see, but I know that you'll see us later, or maybe on the Facebook feed right now. So I give thanks. I give thanks that each and every person is blessed in a very special way, that any healing that is needed, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, that it is happening, it is being taken care of right now. Because all we have to do is say our word that we want it done and believe it. And when we believe that it's already done, guess what? It's already done. So as I speak my word now, I know that this healing is happening for individuals, myself, for our world, for the people in the world. I'm just grateful and thankful. So I release my word into the law, knowing it is done. So it is. And so I let it be. Amen.
I am the radiant pulse. I am the radiant pulse. We are the radiant pulse. We are the radiant
Thank you, Jonathan. And I ask you to open your cameras and take a moment and to look into the cameras and look at each other's eyes and see that magnificent spirit, which is not only you, but each other. And just really spend a moment seeing that. So, wow, I love this part. So, feels good. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to Michael and let him take over the service now.
Well, good morning. Good morning to everyone here, and good morning to, I've missed you. And that, again, I was off working at Unity Village, which is a wonderful place in outside of Kansas City. So I was there for a conference last weekend. So when thinking about what to talk about today, I thought I would talk about the keys to effective prayer. And a few years ago, our center in Akron was hosting another church from Cleveland who came down on a 60-passenger bus. So Ray, the visiting church's video guy, needed a place to set up his camera. So I suggested that he set up in the choir loft overlooking the sanctuary. So as we went up to the door that opened into the loft, Ray and I discovered it was locked. Now, I had church keys, but not to that door. So we had to wait until the Presbyterian pastor that we rented from came with a skeleton key that would open only that door. So we needed the right key to open the door. So today we're going to talk about 3 key ideas presented from Eric Butterworth's book called The Universe is Calling, which is one of my favorite books on prayer, that when we use in conjunction with the religious science spiritual mind treatment model, that we can make our prayers more effective. I'll also be talking from a wonderful book also, I'll mention a couple of times, Powerful is the Light, that was written by Mrs. Hazel Dean, and it's about the life of Divine Science founder Nona Brooks. So I'll be mentioning that a couple of times today also. And then just because you are you, and just because that you're here today with us, I'll talk about some overlooked keys that many people forget about when doing spiritual mind treatment. So the universe is calling today. Are you listening? Are you willing to receive? Are you willing to receive the good that's already there? So the first key I'm going to talk about, as taught by Eric Butterworth, is the key of relaxation or letting go. So even though that the step of relaxation is not mentioned in the 5 steps of treatment, which are recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release, which I'll talk about here in a few moments, I consider it step 0. This is a step of taking a deep breath to let the one power flow through us. And so usually what I do is I usually do a body scan. I say, okay, I just get relaxed in my chair or on my bed, and I just take a body scan and take a look or feel where in my body that I'm tense. Okay. And then I then mentally release that tension. So this is the step again of letting the one power flow through us. Be aware of the presence that is you. So remember that we use the one power and we don't add to it. So as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, he said, he reminds us to get our bloated nothingness out of the way. So relaxing the body and calming the mind helps us to reconnect with this one power. Also, letting go of mental blocks to spirit is also part of the process. So, my question to you today is this: do you hold any anger or resentment towards anyone? What prevents you from letting it go? Who does this anger or resentment really hurt? Dr. Emmett Fox, who is also a divine science minister, is quoted as saying, "When you hold resentment against anyone, you are bound to that person by a cosmic link, a really rough mental chain. You are tied by a cosmic link to that very thing that you hate. The person, the one person in the whole world whom you most dislike is the very one to whom you are attaching yourself by a hook that is stronger than steel." So we're reminded in the Lord's Prayer that our debts or trespasses are forgiven as we forgive our debtors or trespassers. So God does not do the forgiving because spirit is unconditional love. It is we, me, I, who must do the forgiving because of the law of cause and effect. So the second key is after turning within and going within. What happens now is we become aware of our oneness with that infinite power and infinite presence. So this key incorporates the first two steps of treatment, which are recognition and unification. So I have news for you today. Big news flash. God is not out there. Well, God is out there because this universe is the Lord's, as said in Scripture. But that's the tendency, is to pray outside of ourselves instead of the tendency of praying in and from ourselves. So again, God is not out there, something that you have to pray to. From what we believe, Dr. Ernest Holmes said that we believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. So, since you are one with all that is, the secret now is not to pray to God, but to pray from the God or Christ consciousness that's within you. So I'm reminded of a story from Powerful is the Light about Dr. Nona Brooks from Denver. So in the early 1900s, they did not have all the prayer steps of treatment that we do. So what Nona and her sisters did was to become aware of the omnipresence of God. The omnipresence of God. Just take that in. The omnipresence of God. God is right where you are. The omnipresence of God. And then they used a series of affirmations and denials until they knew the work was done within themselves. So Eric Butterworth says that if we are not aware of this oneness, that the use of affirmations and denials is like a cosmic club trying to beat God into submission. We don't want to do that. We must consciously connect with this one power. And if Carol Ann was here today, I'd say to connect with the presence, the stillness that's within us, so that the affirmation is said is filled with the power of the universe instead of our own limited mental power, and announces the truth of our being. So from Psalm 46, we are reminded to be still and know that I am God. Or be still and know that you are God as you. And again, this is to be taken more figuratively than literally. You, yes, you are the expression of God as you. The wholeness of God is you. So we're not praying to God, but we're praying from a consciousness of being God. Ernest Holmes reminds us to have the faith of God rather than faith in God. So, what is more powerful in your opinion? So, a definition of faith that I really like using, the acronym FAITH, is the Father and I together here. FAITH. Or if you're a Star Wars fan, the Force and I together here. So be really who you are, and that is the divine being, the God as you, in you, and through you. God lives its wonderful life in and through and as you. There is no separation. You are living here again as the emanation of God as you. So now, after relaxing and now becoming aware of our oneness with God, the third key here is to project your God authority through an affirmation or spiritual mind treatment. And I'm reminded that Eric Butterworth and also the OG, the original gangsters of New Thought, the original school, that they called it spiritual mind treatment. Now, usually when we think of the unity movement, we think of, again, using one or two affirmations. But again, it's what the reason that I like the science of mind method is because, again, that the affirmation that we say is, it comes from a place of consciousness rather than a place of, again, of using the cosmic club and trying to beat God into submission. So this is the science of mind step, third step, called realization. So now, from a high state of consciousness, from awareness, speak either out loud or in the silence with power and authority the affirmative word that reveals the truth about you or your loved one. So I know the facts. I know that you went to the doctor and got a bad report. I know that you checked online and you have more month than money. I know that maybe that you are without a certain special someone and you feel lonely. I know that. Those are the facts. However, the facts are temporary. The truth is eternal. The truth is that you are whole, prosperous, and loved. So using this key, we are healing the false belief. We're letting it go. We're declaring it null and void to reveal the truth, the capital T that's already there. So again, if you don't know how to do this, again, I suggest that you would study the treatments of Ernest Holmes and also other truth teachers. Another suggestion is to listen to seasoned practitioners pray, or to ask either myself or one of the practitioners to help you create a personal treatment for you. So I want to suggest something today that I've mentioned before, but I'm going to keep mentioning it till you start using it, okay? Eric Butterworth and the other New Thought teachers recommend that you make up your own affirmative prayer by using what's called a 3-column method. So imagine a piece of paper that's divided into 3 columns. So the first, and you can either use your paper vertically or horizontally, doesn't matter. But on the left-hand side, that's your first column. List the problem. What's going on? And again, you don't have to go into the story. Just again, I feel alone, or I need $600, or whatever that the need, whatever that's going on in your life. Write that in the left-hand column. So in the second column, in the middle column, you list how things ought to be, or the truth about the situation. So let's just take the $600 that I just made up. So what is the truth about the situation? The truth about the situation, using the aspects of God, as mentioned by Thomas Troward, is abundance, life, also light, creativity. So you list the spiritual characteristics, the truth about the situation. And in the third column, you make up an affirmation that reveals the truth that's already there. I'm going to show you something here in just a few moments that I think will really make a big difference in your life. So call or email me at pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. That's pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. That's how to get a hold of me. So praying for things are okay. And again, it's just, I get concerned that sometimes that practitioners, even in New Thought, that they're not specific enough. We are to be specific in our treatment, however, that we are to be not specific about how it's to come about. Again, that's the law's job. I remember listening to, I think Diana was there, Dr. Ken Gordon, who is our former CSL spiritual leader, at an Ohio Leadership Day. And he said he had a client that came in asking him to pray for a red sports car. Well, that's a pretty cool thing to pray for. Now, Ken could have just said, okay, I'm going to pray for the red sports car. But what he did was he went deeper. He started asking open-ended questions like, why would you want that? And what would that give you? And he kept asking those questions until his client got clear. And so the answer that he got back was freedom, excitement, speed. So the treatment was for freedom and excitement rather than just the red sports car. And again, the red sports car was mentioned, but that or something better. So remember to do all affirmative prayer in the ever-present now, knowing it's already done. Also remember that we are treating ourselves either by the argumentative or the realization method. The argumentative method is, again, of using a series of affirmations and denials. The realization method, again, is just stating the truth about the situation and just knowing that it is so. So this is what I do. And most of the treatments listed in the Science of Mind textbook are of the argumentative method. And Ernest Holmes used this method too. I pay attention to my feelings while I'm treating. If I have any doubt or fear, I confront it with a denial, like I dissolve this fear within me. This fear is neither person, place, or thing. In God, there is no fear. So I continue a series of affirmations and denials until I come to a sense of peace that the work is already done. Now, sometimes it'll take several sessions for me to come to a complete realization. But what I've noticed is that there usually comes a time in which within me that something in me says, you're done, is that the treatment's done. So what I do is I come to the best realization that I can in the moment and then repeat it if there's not a demonstration. So another key is to believe that you've already received the answer to your treatment. And this is an important key to effective prayer. The master teacher Jesus taught us in Mark 11:24, therefore I tell you that whatever, in some translations says whatsoever, you ask for in prayer, believe that you have already received it. I'll say it again. Believe that you've already received it and it will be yours. Now, the question is, how do we believe that we've already received? It's by adopting the feelings that you will have when it demonstrates. All right. So personally, I have a list of good that I desire that's written in a form that I already have it. Thank you that. I am so grateful that. It is wonderful that. And then I have a list of feelings then underneath of it that says how I feel when it's manifest. So when someone gives you a present, how do you feel? If I gave you a present today, how would you feel? The focus needs to be on already having it. The focus needs to be on already having it. Remember, it is the creative law's job to demonstrate and not you. You are playing your part by planting your request into the law, the great soil of the universe, and letting the law demonstrate. Again, another scripture reference from 1 John 5:14 through 15 says, this is the confidence that we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will or good, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have what we ask of him. So your bonus keys today they come in the form of thanksgiving and release. And those are the last two steps of spiritual mind treatment. So since you've already affirmed that it's already yours, a feeling of gratitude for the demonstration is there. Even before it shows up in a physical, you know it's already done. So now adopt in the physical the same feelings as if you've already have it that you've desired. Again, we talked about Mark 11:24. So a good book here that, again, I think that, and again, it's been my experience that we talk about being in an addicted society. And I think that the one thing that we are addicted to is feeling bad. That's a learned pattern. So again, by feeling gratitude, by noticing the little things, by being grateful for what you have, by appreciating the people in your life, by just being in the present moment, that what happens is that you start generating and start being and feeling good. And again, if you don't know how to do this, a wonderful book, Lynn Grabhorn's book, Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting, or take a look at any of the Hicks Abraham materials. So now, between your formal treatments, keep your thoughts and speech on what you want only. What do you want only? Remember that you are praying all the time. If doubt or fear comes up, say a short affirmation or 30-second treatment is taught to me by Doris Angwin. 30-second treatment to dissolve it and let it go. When Doris was with us, she said what she would do is if she was feeling something that was unlike love, that what she would do is she would, again, do a very, I recognize God as me, in me, as me, and through me. And I recognize this fear to be null and void, and it goes back into the nothingness from where it came from. I now embrace the faith that I am. I'm just using fear as an example here. So remember to let go and to let God. How the manifestation happens is none of my business. It is God's business. The law is intelligent, and it knows how to bring about my word into being. However, that it needs our conscious direction to be able to do that. So really let go and let God. I remember a story also from Powerful is the Light, the biography of Nona Brooks. She was working with a client, and she spent some time trying to come to a realization. What she realized is that she was feeling responsible for making the treatment work. So when she realized that the responsibility is God or the universal law. When she realized that, what happened was her client healed. So I will often say, after reading the book about Nona Brooks, is I will say, it's God's responsibility for this treatment to demonstrate. It already has happened. And again, that helps me to let it go mentally. Remember also when praying for others that the thought we change is not of the other person, it is our thought. The work is always done in the mind of the practitioner, and it does help the other person. When my consciousness shifts and changes, the other person's does too. So another story, I'm full of stories today, happened to me last weekend. So when I work with the New Thought Media Network at a conference, what we do is we stream the program to the internet. What happens is that we have to tape down the wires that go to the different cameras and go to the different things so that people don't trip over them. So when we were done last Sunday, it was my job to pull up all of the tape and throw it away. So when I was done, I discovered I was missing my small Leatherman that was given to me as a gift many years ago that I used to pull the tape. It has a nice little scissor in it that I was able to use. So after looking around the seats where we were at in this auditorium, I went to the waste can where I put all of this really sticky tape in. And I said to myself, I noticed myself starting to get upset. But then I said, there is nothing lost in spirit. There is nothing lost in spirit. And I let the affirmation go. And soon after that, I found the multi-tool stuck in the tape. So now for the magic key here that will open the door to your greater good. Are you ready now? Keep treating until you get results. Keep treating until you get results. Many truth students give up too soon. And again, remember the verse in scripture in Matthew that says, ask and it shall be given, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open. Well, the Greek is really plural. It says in the newer translations, keep on asking, keep on seeking, keep on finding, that you will find. And again, let me tell you about asking. From the original language, the word ask means to claim or demand. So keep on treating until you get results. So from the Science of Mind text, page 225, I think this is a really good way to help sum up what we've been talking about today. Ernest Holmes' words. He says, a treatment is a specific thing. When you are treating to neutralize any particular form of dis-ease, your word should be spoken in such a way as to neutralize a belief in the necessity of the condition. Each treatment must have in itself everything necessary to cover the case. So when you treat, resolve everything into thought, bodies, people, objects, all things, because everything is a thing of thought. So having resolved everything into thought, know that the dis-ease is neither person, place, or thing. It has no location, and it does not belong to anyone and cannot operate through anyone. Know that it is a false image. And again, notice that Ernest Holmes is using denial. Notice that it is a false image. I usually shake my head too. It's a false image with no power. And then you are ready to mentally dissolve it. Ernest Holmes' words always come to a complete conclusion when giving a treatment. Already feel that it's already done, complete and perfect, and give thanks for the answer, as if it were already objectified. In the interval between treatments, Dr. Holmes wrote, do not carry the thought of the patient around with you. And again, usually it's because I think I have to do the work. Well, I've already done the work in treatment. So again, it's the whole idea of letting it go. Letting it go, putting the seed into the cosmic soil and letting it grow. So in the intervals between treatments, do not carry the thought of the patient around with you. To do so is to doubt, and this mental attitude must be completely overcome. Each treatment should be a complete state of the statement of the reality of being. The treatment should be repeated daily until healing takes place. If it takes 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, or 5 years, the treatment must be kept up until a healing is accomplished. And Holmes said this is the only method that we know. It is not enough to say that everything is all right. This is true in principle, but in fact and in human experience, it is only as true as we make it. Treat until you get results. A healing takes place when the patient is no longer sick, and until such time, mental work must be done. That's on page 225 of the Science of Mind. So remember to push in prayer using another acronym. That is, pray until something happens. Doesn't mean forcing it, but again, to be persistent in your demonstration. So in conclusion here, to pray effectively, remember to use, again, the Science of Mind steps of treatment, along with Eric Butterworth's consciousness steps of relax. Become one with it and to speak your word from a point of being it. You feel that flow in and through you rather than praying to it. Again, maybe your life is wonderful. That's great. But my challenge for you is this today: make it better. Make it better for yourself and also for others. So I close now with one of my favorite scriptures taken from Paul's letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 6. He says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Namaste. I salute the divinity as you.
All right. Thank you, Michael. That was very, very good. Actually, other than the fact it was a little long, that was one of your best talks ever. It was done very well. It was the fact that we trying to remember that we have to not talk about it. Once we've already prayed about the solution, we only continue to know the solution, not the problem. And just continue with that. So, all right. So I'm not quite sure where he went, but he will be back. So, anybody else have any questions or comments for Michael about it? He can hear us.
He was good. Tell him.
What I really liked about it today was that he looked at the camera a lot. He wasn't too fast. He wasn't too slow. He was just right. I know he's done this talk before, but he was in the moment the way he should be. So, Tim, what did you want to say?
I love coming here on Michael's speaking weeks because we always get a brilliant lesson on the basics that we need to always remember. So thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the one other thing that I did like about it too is when he mentions don't keep talking about the problem. That is so important. You know, you might be, worry comes into your mind about a person or a situation. Stop the worrying. Say, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm done worrying. I've already handed it over to God. It's taken care of. You know, and when you do that a few times, after a while, you see it actually happens. You know, so okay. All right. Well, John, would you like to do a song?
All right. Well, yesterday was my friend's annual birthday party where everybody comes all day and all evening and plays music and has fun. And so I thought and next Sunday is my family reunion. So I thought I would play my friend's song. I have friends who are dear to me, the kind of people that you're glad to see. Friends to the end, as time goes by, we laugh, sometimes we cry. A friend is a friend, through thick and thin. They know who you are and where you've been. They'll hum your tune and chat a while and be there with a friendly smile. It's nice to have friends from your younger years when we talked and joked and shed some tears. Play outside, take a ride, running in the sun. Close games, great songs, good fun. A friend is a friend through thick and thin. They know who you are and where you've been. They'll hum your tune and chat a while and be there with a friendly smile. A friend is someone you can count upon to forgive, to step up, to get things done. Walking on the porch in our older years, we will laugh at doubts and fears. Someone who likes you too, even though they know all about you. Rocking on the porch in our older years, we'll laugh at doubts and fears. I am thankful We'll have lots of friends. We'll care for each other until the end. When we're together, our faces shine. You'll always be friends of mine. A friend is a friend through thick and thin. They know who you are and where you've been. They'll hum your tune and chat a while. They'll be there with a friendly smile.
Thank you, John. That was wonderful. Okay, so it's that time for our in the service where we have the opportunity to give. And Michael, will you do that for me?
So yes, so this is an opportunity to again to be who we are, and again from the ancient Hindu tradition. If you see any of the saints, you see with their right hand up, and again that's God always giving. God always giving. So again, being who we are, that it is natural that we give. So we give in gratitude. We don't give because we're forced to. We give because we want to. And again, that it's in appreciation. So if you want to, please hold your gift in your hand, right top over left. Again, any contributions to our wonderful center can be sent to our Zelle account, which is SSC of Akron at gmail.com, SSC of Akron at gmail.com. That's our Zelle account. Or you can go send us a check to Summit CSL at 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44310. That's 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44310. So we symbolically take our gift in our hand, right top over left. Let us give great thanks for the gift that we have. And we know together that, again, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And as I gratefully give this gift, I just now know that it does return to me multiplied 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times over. As I give generously, as I give in love, so I open myself to receive back in love multiplied. I just give great thanks that this is a now happening, a now appearance. And so I give not to get, I give because it is the natural thing to do. And I receive back because, again, it is a natural thing to do. And for that, I just give great thanks as I release my gift, knowing it's already blessed to the highest work of Summit CSL and the truth that sets us free. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Michael. So it's time for announcements.
Hold it. We have to sing Good More Good.
Oh, gosh, yes, you're right.
Good more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Unlimited, infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. Good crowds itself upon us, wraps itself around us. We give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. Good, more good is ours, and ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and so we give.
Thank you. And quick announcements, Michael and John.
ntmedia.org. That's ntmedia.org.
Yeswise.com. Look for the Inspiry tab.
Okay, great. All right, so we are going to go to
Hold it. Tim also has broadjam.com. Yeah, it's in the chat. Look in the chat.
I just mentioned that because in the chat, because that is a song I recorded years ago based on the book that your talk extensively drew on, Eric Butterworth, The Universe is Calling. So click on that. My recommendation.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, so after that, so we're going to do a moment of silence, and I have a bell that has 3. So I'll go from top to bottom, and during that time, please bring into mind person or a situation or something for the world that needs help, that's having a challenge. And we see that challenge is now resolved and taken care of, and it's replaced with love and peace and joy. All right, so I will ring, and then I'll ring this again when we're done. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is. And John, our closing song.
All right. Life is real. Life is true. Oh, it just said I quit Zoom. Are you still there?
You're still here. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not sharing, but I can see you, and I can. We're just not showing the song. That's all.
Huh. It's supposed to be. Oh well. Life is real. Life is true. We are life, living as me and you. Joy is real. Joy is true. We are joy, living as me and you. Peace. Peace is real. Peace is true. We are peace, living as me and you. Love is real. Love is true. We are love, living as me and you. Living as me and you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Anna, you can end our Facebook feed.